rules.
Great.
No, it's about dates again.
All right, dates?
Like for March.
Okay, that's fine.
No,
Figure it
it's
out.
not fun. No, it's-
6 o'clock.
I don't know, because it's not me, it's the people hired, they're supposed to student
Oh,
here. Good evening, it's 6 P.M. or 1800 hours, which one you want. It's the Finance and Human Resource Committee meeting. Calling it to order, Councilmember Katie Lopari-Shu,
here.
Councilmember Scott Harrington. Here. Councilmember John Raptor. Here. All committee members here. Are there any corrections to the previous meeting minutes? Sorry. Good. Topic A. We will hold off on topic B.
So as you know, we have a community development assistant position that's newly created this year's budget. It's vacant, recruitment, and we'd like to recommend the hire Sarah Plymouth, currently in our code enforcement office flat position. It's a very well qualified candidate. Her hire would presumably be effective March 16th. That hire formally recognize the position of the department unit. Be creating that starting salary of $40,700.
Will you be replacing her in the code enforcement?
Yes, we would certainly be posting that position immediately.
Any questions?
No.
Seems good. Move that up to full council. Topic C.
As you also know, we had several police officer vacancies. We have currently 4 that we're looking to fill, 3 actual and 1 definite retirement position. However, after a thorough vetting process, we have 3 candidates to bring forward at this time. The chief's recommending 2 of them would be our typical entry level candidates that start salary of $41,000. We have another who would start a little bit higher at $50,000, I believe, as a candidate transferring in from another agency. All 3 would be presumably effective March 21st. They'll attend Long Creek Academy done by the police department here in Indiana, and then attend Law Enforcement Academy beginning March 28th. However, the one to transfer only has certain classes to take. Won't get that academy the entire time, or more or less hit the ground running. Chris will elaborate.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it's a unique candidate. He's a Walton native that is transferring from, well, not transferring, he's moving here from New York City Police Department. We have the opportunity to bridge over his NYPD credentials to state credentials through process through DCJS. So it's going to save us an academy. He's got some significant experience with New York City Police Department in just a short 2 years, almost 3 years that he's been working there. He's got a degree from John Jay University in criminal justice, very well suited for the position. So we're excited to be bringing him on.
Any question?
No, that sounds great.
Great. Yeah.
Move that up to full council. Topic D.
And of course, we have some firefighter vacancies as well. And Brian, after a similar process, has recommended 2 hires. Both are with a starting salary of $39,009, 2022. They would join us a few days early as call firefighters working some part-time hours to get some initial orientation and training at the fire department done. And then they would join as full-time for April 4th of the year in New York State Fire Academy. Brian, if you're anything about the process from there on academy.
So I think the starting date is going to be actually around April 2nd, I think, because the academy starts on the 4th. So just for clarification there, there's going to be some administrative time that they're going to have to do. So we all discussed it, and with the union president, felt like going the call route because we haven't traditionally hired in the past right before going to the academy. Traditionally, it's been we hire them at a specific date, and then they've sometimes been the 6th person on a crew, which we've, by doing this practice, tried to get away from that. So by going this route, it's gonna give us a little bit more flexibility with them coming in for like 8-hour shifts versus if we hired them full-time, we'd have to abide by the contract and they would have to do 24-hour shifts. So, and then from there, it's 12-week academy. They've got an opportunity to do 2 additional classes at the end, which most likely I will be signing them up for that. And that's rope technician, basically, so they can do high angle rescues, things like that, and then hazmat, which, you know, we haven't had that level of training in a long time. And as you all know, I'm big on the training, so I want them coming out of the academy with the most amount of training that they can get. 2 individuals, one's a EMT, one's a paramedic. So on the back end, after that, we're gonna save with the 1 hire and not having to send them to paramedic school. So that's also gonna be good for us.
So coming out of the academy, they both should fit right in, but I additional training needed other than obviously.
Correct.
And then on the job training for the pump operator.
Yeah.
You've developed, did you develop a program for that? I thought last time we talked about that, you were working on something.
Yeah, we've got a student matrix. It incorporates the pump operator portion of it. So it was when they come back from the academy, they've got a worksheet that they got to work through. So they look at all our SOPs and kind of how we operate, and then we start them on the ambulances, learning all the equipment there, and then move from vehicle to vehicle based on its complexity. So like our tower ladders are most complex vehicles, so that's the last thing they get cleared on.
Good. It's all formalized. It's good. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move that up to full council. And we saved those for last.
Oh, I apologize for being a couple minutes late coming in. The airport hangar lease for Bentley. This will be a good opportunity to review it with the airport presentation that is coming up. And I know Len and I, we've talked briefly about this agreement, but we're not quite ready to bring the recommendations to council. But currently in the agreement, Bentley Aviation, he rents the main hangar, and he also he pays us currently $800 a rent per month. He rents the entire building, or the sublease the hangar space for aircraft. He maintains the entire buildings for cleanliness. He charges and retains landing and tie-down fees, and that's gets shared 50-50 between the city and him. He also absorbs 150 of the credit card fees for anybody who pays via the credit card. And he's generally present there during normal business hours to assist with fueling aircrafts, and he notifies the city of any operational maintenance issues at that point. That's kind of a quick summary of what's in this lease, but I think it would be a good thing for us to discuss it after the airport presentation. I will tell you that we have continued this lease, not knowing that it had expired, and so it is something that we do need to address. There was I searched council minutes, I searched paperwork, and I couldn't find any extension of the current contract. So this particular one, this did expire at the end of 2019. So we've been operating for 20 and 21 and now into 22. So I apologize for not catching that sooner, but I was working on some other things a couple of weeks ago, came across it, and I said, whoa, where's the new one? I couldn't find one. So, so that is something that I think that Len and I will meet, we'll discuss probably after the airport presentation, and we'll bring it back for recommendations.
Thank you for updating us on that. Does anybody have any items that need to put on the agenda? Yes. Karen? Sorry.
Can I just update you on something? As you all saw from your emails, the annual water billing went out. And I got it in the mail on Saturday, and we've already had people at the window paying their bills. And I just wanted to let you know that we sent out a little over 3,800 bills. And the consumption compared to 2021's annual, we had basically almost 193 million gallons for each year. So it's basically the same consumption. I mean, within thousands, it's very, very close to the same amount of consumption. And just so you know, you've heard me talk about in budget presentations about one-time adjustments to the water and sewer fund by just changing how we're accounting for the annual billing. I'm very happy to say that for the water fund, the excess usage for 2021 was a little over $419,000 worth. The excess sewer was a little over $290,000 worth. I won't be booking all of that in 2021 just because of certain criteria that has to be met, but that is a very good indication. And once we get onto quarterly billings, that will automatically end up in the proper year. What this does is it makes the sewer and water fund balance stronger in the proper reporting period instead of it being delayed until the next year.
Well, actually, this is actually pretty quick. The contract just
never do move down there, so you have 2 minutes.
the contract just signed for gas price for the gas. Was that variable or is that locked in?
Yeah, for the gas, fuel gas, that's differential. It's not a fixed price.
Just watching gas prices, I just see that with everything that's going on, it's out of our control. And then the only other thing that I have is, I know our fire department's been extremely busy. And I know we've had concerns about overtime. And I was wondering, maybe at the next finance committee, you can tell us whereabouts we stand for overtime versus what's in the budget and what our forecast looks like.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about that the other day. We'd like to bring the full first quarter of 2022 numbers to you to talk about. So that would actually be the first finance meeting in April.
Okay.
That way we have all of that. We can. Looking at a full.
And we're talking not just the fire department, but all the departments.
Yeah, that's something we'll do quarterly.
That's great.
That would be great.
Very good. Thank you.
And can I just make a comment on the fixed price?
Yeah.
Last time this happened in the economy, the city did lock in. And I just want you to know we got burned. Because what happened is we locked it in, and then about 6 months later, the prices came way down.
I remember the Alderman. And sits in that seat right there. I
Yeah,
remember.
so,
What happened.
you know, well, it was a group decision, and,
400.
you know, it
It
was,
was like $425,000 across the city.
yeah, I don't remember the, but I know it's nerve wracking to look at the prices, but it's not forever.
Mhm.
And, you know,
I just couldn't remember if we locked it in or if it's variable because I didn't.
I really think that we can sit here and do that. I learned from that council member, that Alderman that was over there at you.
Oh, yeah, no, I have a fair idea what you're talking about.
yeah, well, remember, it's a council decision, it's not one council member's vote, but what I'm saying is that it's, it was, at the time, we thought it was a good decision, but it just didn't work out in our favor.
This is the fastest finance meeting of all time, so I feel like I can just wait on the question. So it's just about, I know you had mentioned something over email, or that, I don't know whether it's a bid or contract for demo of the Ford sales building that for us today, but I didn't see it on the agenda, obviously, so I just wanted to.
Yeah, I think that'll be on 28. Working with Ellers, they're finalizing their stuff process.
Okay.
So we'll go over sort of after.
Okay, great, cool. Thanks. Okay, great, that only cost us a minute.
Well, I don't know what you guys are going to do the rest of your day now.
Go home, see your family.
With no other items brought to the table.